Hello friends, welcome to my channel Power BI Skills. Through this channel, I share with my viewers a lot of tips, tricks and best practices in Power BI in order to develop stunning dashboard. In our last video, we had covered about adding customized and dynamic colors and chart titles in our Power BI reports. Our today's video would be in continuation of our previous video where I am going to cover how to add dynamic and customized labels in our Power BI visuals. In case you have not seen my previous video, then I would strongly recommend to check out that video. The link of that video is appearing on the I button on your screen. You can click on this link and go through that video. In today's video, I'll be using the same example dataset and the column visual which I had covered in the previous video. So this is the example dataset which we had used in our previous video showing the sales forecast and the actual sales for 9 months starting January till September. And the visual which we had created is a column visual showing the columns, or I would say bars, representing the actual sales number, and the line visual is showing the forecast numbers. So wherever we have columns or bars appearing in gray, it means we have exceeded the forecast numbers, and wherever it is in red, it means our forecast number is higher than the actual sales number. It means we were not able to meet our forecast numbers. So here you can see we have the data labels which are appearing over the bars showing the actual sales number, which is in black color, and the data labels which are appearing in yellow color over the line visual are showing our forecast number. So let's say I want to see a data labels in a different form. Let's say I want to see the data label in the form of percentage of actual sales over forecast. I don't want to see, or I don't want to show the actual sales numbers as a data label. I would rather want to show the percentage of sales, actual sales versus forecast as a data label. Or another example could be I want to see the amount of surplus or shortfall in the data label instead of actual sales number. Let's understand how can we achieve this with the help of DAX functions. But before we proceed further, I would request you to please like and share my videos in case you believe that you are enhancing your Power BI knowledge through these videos. In case you are new to my channel, then I would request you to please subscribe to my channel by hitting the subscribe button and press the bell icon so that you will get notification to all my future videos. Your like and subscribe will motivate me to make more such useful contents for my viewers. Now let's get started. To create a customized data label, I'll have to first create a measure. Let me create a new measure. I'll name this measure as actual sales label, and I would create a variable here. So my first variable would be the actual sales number. So let me write this actual sales. So this would be my sum table forecast versus actual in the actual sales column reference, and I will press shift and enter, and I'll create my another variable, and I'll name this variable as arrow up and down, and here I'll be using if function. If sum, if my actual sales is higher than sales forecast. If this is correct, then I'll be using a symbol. To add a symbol, I'll have to use my keyboard, and in my keyboard I'll have to press window button and the dot button. Once I press window and dot, I'll get all the emoji options. I will select my arrow up emoji. So if my actual sales is higher than or greater than forecast sales, then it is arrow up. And if my actual sales is less than my sales forecast, then this would be my arrow down. So if the actual sales is less than the sales forecast, then it is arrow down. And if my actual sales is equal to sales forecast, then I would press Windows and dot, and in that scenario I will use a symbol, this one, which is in inverted commas. Yep. So I have created both the variables. Press right return, and now we have both the variables. And now let me create a label or custom label, I would say. So my custom label would be my actual sales. So I'll have to first format my actual sales. I'll give the reference of variable 1, which is the actual sales. So this is the variable actual sales, and then comma, and then I will give the format reference number, or I would say the format reference. So that would be dollars, the 0, and comma, and since I need this in thousands, so I will put K, and I will close the inverted commas. So this is the actual sales number, and then I have to add the symbol which is showing whether it is increasing or decreasing with arrow up and arrow down. But before that, I'll have to add a space. As we discussed in the previous video, to add a space we'll have to first write and symbol, and then space in inverted commas, and again and symbol, and here we will use our second variable, which is arrow up and down. And that's it. I will close this and I will hit enter. So my customize actual sales label is ready. Now if I have to use my customized label, I'll have to first select this visual. I'll have to go to view and format, and in format I will have to go to data labels, expand that. I'll have to go to values. In values, I'll have to first enable the custom label. But before enabling the custom label, I'll have to first mention to which series I have to use that. Do I have to use this measure for all series, or actual sales, or sales forecast? I'll have to use it on actual sales only. So I'll select actual sales, which is the column visual, and then I would enable the custom label. and I will click on add data, and here I would select my visual, which is actual sales label. So you can see this actual sales label is appearing here. So wherever like our actual sales is higher than the forecast number, it is appearing with arrow up, and wherever it is less than the forecast number, it is appearing with arrow down. Now you can see that my custom data label is appearing in black in all these columns. So let's say I want to further customize it to a different color. Let's say wherever my actual sales is more than the forecast sales, my custom label should be in green color, and wherever it is less than my forecast sales, then it should be in red color or maybe any other color. So for that, I'll have to again create another measure. I will go to new measure and I'll write label color, and here I would write a simple if function. Sum of actual sales is greater than sum of sales forecast. If it is true, then it should be green, else should be red. I will hit enter. Now we have a new measure for label color. To add the label color, or I would say to change the label color here, I will have to again go to format, and I will go to data labels. And in data labels, you can see in values, we have color option and then the conditional formatting option FX. I will click on that. I will select the format style as field value, and here I would select my measure label color. I'll hit OK. Now you can see wherever my actual sales is higher than my sales forecast, it is appearing in green color, and wherever it is lesser than the sales forecast, it is appearing in red color. So this is how we can customize. You can use any symbols, any color options with DAX functions. You can customize it as per your own requirement. Now let's say we have to add maybe another type of data label. I want to add a data label showing the percentage of increase or decrease in my actual sales as against the sales forecast. For that, I will have to use, or I would say I will have to create a new measure for that. So I will go to my data, and sales forecast versus actual. I will select new measure, but before that I will be copying the actual sales label measure which we had created earlier. So let me just simply copy paste this measure, and we'll change this measure now. Now I'll create a new measure. I will name this measure as percentage actual sales versus forecast label. And in the first variable, wherever I have mentioned actual sales, first variable where I have mentioned actual sales, I will change this to percentage actual, or let me write it actual versus forecast. So this would be my sum of actual sales divided by sum of sales forecast. So this is my variable one, which is percentage of actual versus forecast. My second variable would remain same, arrow up and arrow down. In format, I would use percentage actual versus forecast, and here I would use the percentage format. So that would be 0 percentage, and arrow up and down would remain same. I will hit enter, and let's say I want to change this data label to percentage. I will use the same procedure. I'll select my visual first. I'll go to format. I'll go to data labels, and in the field I would select my customized label percentage. Now you can see uh, like in January month we were 152 percentage against our sales forecast number. Similarly, in February month, it is gone down to 68 percentage. So we can do one more thing. Let me just go back to my measure. Uh, let's say in the percentage, if I subtract this with 1, let me hit enter. Now it is showing percentage increase or decrease. Now my actual sales is 52% more than sales forecast in the month of January, and in the month of February it is 32% lower than the sales forecast. Similarly, it is 43% higher than the sales forecast, and so on. So this is how we can present our customized data label in terms of percentage increase or decrease. Another customized data label which we can use, or maybe another example of customized data label which we can create, which could be in absolute terms of surplus or shortfall if I compare our actual sales with the sales forecast number. So data label would show the amount of surplus and shortfall. So let's create it by creating a new measure. I will first copy my previous measure. I will go to new measure. Here I would name this as surplus or shortfall, or surplus slash shortfall. Here in actual sales variable, I will change the name to surplus or shortfall. So this would be sum of actual sales minus sum of sales forecast. And here also I would change the, or I would give the reference of my variable one, which is surplus or shortfall. Yep, and I'll hit enter. The format would remain same in this case because this is in absolute amount values. So I would not change the format. This would be in dollars and thousands. So I'll hit enter. Okay, I would, since I have already created this measure earlier, let me change this a bit. Instead of surplus slash shortfall, I would write this surplus underscore shortfall. Okay, so now I have the surplus underscore shortfall label. So this is the customized label which is ready. And let me add this customized label here. I'll follow the same process. Go to data labels, go to field values, and I will select my customized label, which is surplus underscore shortfall label. Now it is showing. So we have 13,000 higher sales, actual sales than forecast numbers in the month of January. But in the month of February, it was 7,000 short as compared to our forecast number of 22K, and so on. So this is how we can create customized data labels as per our requirement. Now, let's go one step further, and let's say if I want to add a slicer with all these data label options, and I want to select that option from the slicer, and those data label would change. Friends, if you have gone through my previous videos, we have covered one functionality where we can add multiple measures in our slicer, and from slicer we'll select a measure option, and the numbers would change in the visual accordingly. So we'll use the same functionality here, or same trick here. So for that, I will first create a, a new table, and in this table I would give the reference of all three measures of customized labels which we had created. I'll click on the option create new table by typing or pasting a new content, and here I would write down the name of the measures which we have created, like actual sales label. Then the next was percentage actual sales versus forecast label, and the third would be surplus underscore shortfall label. And I will name this table as label list. I will name the column as label, or I would say customize label, and I will load this. Now you can see a new table which is appearing here, showing a customized label list. Now the next step is, since we have created the list of names of all these measures we have created for our customized labels, we want Power BI to read through these labels. So for that, we'll have to create another measure, I would name this as label selection, and here I would write, or I would use the measure selected value, and here I would give the reference of my customize label table or list. Now the third step is, so first step we have created a list of all measured. Second step, I've created a new measure with the selected value function to recognize all these lists which we had created. Now as a third step, I will link all my measures which I had created for customized labels. I would connect, or I would say link all my measures to the list of measure names which I had created through this label selections, or I would say customized labels name. So for that I will be creating a new measure. I will name this measure as dynamic label selection. Here I will be using switch true DAX function, switch then true, and here if my label selection is equal to actual sales label, if this is true, then my measure would be actual sales label. Arrow down. If my label selection list option is equal to percentage actual sales versus forecast label. If this is true, then my measure would be percentage actual sales versus forecast. If my label selection is equal to surplus shortfall label, then my measure would be surplus shortfall label. I'll hit enter. Now my dynamic label selection measure is ready. To activate or enable this dynamic selection label, I will have to go to format. But yeah, before that, I'll have to create a slicer for my list of all these measure names, the which we have created as a first step. For that, I will go to new visual. From the drop down, I'll select slicer, and here I will add data, and I will add the table for customize labels. Now I have this slicer ready. I will go to data label. In the field, I would select the measure which we have created to link my measures with customized label measures with the list of all the measure names. I'll click this. Now if I select percentage of actual sales versus forecast, you can see that percentage is appearing. If I select actual sales label, then actual sales would appear. And if I select surplus versus shortfall label, then surplus or shortfall would appear. And let me just format this. I will go, I'll first remove the slicer header. I will go to vertical list and I will select the tile option. I will drag this. Now I have the slicer options appearing in tile form. Whatever option I'll select, it would appear accordingly. So I have selected actual sales label. The actual sales label is appearing. If I am selecting surplus versus shortfall label, this would appear. If I select percentage label, then percentage would appear. I hope you have learned the trick of adding customized labels and I would say dynamic labels in your Power BI visuals, and you would be able to implement the same in your Power BI charts and reports. In case you have any questions or doubt relating to the concept which we have covered today, you can reach out to me by writing your comments in the comments field, and I will get back to you ASAP. Thanks for watching, friends. Thank you. Bye bye.